For the entire PCB reverse engineering process, after you get the board, the first step is to use a high-definition digital camera to take photos of both the front and back sides, and then use Photoshop. Process the images to obtain horizontal and numerical data. The second step is to print out the photos and stick double-sided tape on them. The third step. Remove each component from the board one by one. Record the model numbers, reference designators, various parameters, including brand and voltage for each component, package type, and so on. Create a table and enter all the data you just recorded into an Excel spreadsheet. Also tally up the quantities and stick the removed components back onto the photo in their original positions and orientations. Once all the components have been removed, we end up with a board with no components on it. We then take the board and clean off all the solder and flux and use a high-definition scanner. Scan it into the computer, and then in the PCB design software, we import the background image we just scanned in. Disable the routing layer, mechanical layer, and other relevant layers. Then we meticulously recreate the entire package, including the crucial vias, and so on. This intricate process absolutely needs to be carefully done for both sides of the circuit board. We typically use a high-precision laser, fine sand, or specialized chemicals to precisely remove the solder mask. Then we thoroughly scan it once again, and subsequently trace the intricate circuits on top according to their original precise layout. Trace them out. If it's a multi-layer board, we then need to grind off these 2 layers. Taking an 8-layer board as an example, after grinding off these 2 layers, we then work on the 2nd and 7th layers. After finishing the 2nd and 7th layers, we move on to the 3rd and 6th layers, and finally the 4th and 5th layers. Once we've completed every single layer, we establish the network connections and then generate a PCB file, converting it into AD or another recognizable format. As for the component list, we can also double-check it to see if there are any mistakes or omissions. What should we pay attention to when copying a board? During the copying process, the images must be handled properly and aligned. So that the size and dimensions match the original board, and every hole must be precisely aligned. Another important point is the component list. It must be clear and detailed, with all information thoroughly recorded to facilitate future production. This will save a lot of unnecessary trouble later on.